Hi, my name is Louise Stark and I'm the CEO of Hachette Australia and New Zealand. I would like to pay my respects to the past, present and future traditional custodians and owners of country throughout Australia and recognise the continuation of cultural, spiritual and educational practices of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples. Today I'm joining you from the land of the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation. Hachette is one of the world's biggest publishers, and Hachette Australia and New Zealand are the second or third biggest trade publisher here in Australia and New Zealand. Trade publishers publish and focus their work on the books that you find in a general bookstore. So reading for entertainment, for information and for pleasure. We publish children's books and adult books for that reading for pleasure market. And why we're doing this video today is to demystify the publishing process, to explain how we take a book from acquisition all the way to a bookshop and all the different functional departments involved in the journey of a book to market. So you'll be hearing from some of my great colleagues who've volunteered today to share their take on how publishing works from their functional role. So you'll be hearing from sales, product, publicity, marketing, publishing and editorial and production, all of the different roles that take a book to market. One of the reasons we're doing this is because we're looking to recruit new people to the industry, specifically great people to Hachette Australia. We offer a paid summer internship, and this video is in the hope that you'll understand a little bit more about publishing and be inspired to apply for the internship. The internship itself is fantastic. It's 4 months, and in that 4 months you'll spend a week or 2 weeks with every functional department of the publishing house. So at the end of 4 months you'll have a really clear understanding of how all the pieces of the puzzle come together and be incredibly employable. So we hope that this video inspires you to think of publishing as a career, to see yourself in one of the roles that is described today. And it's not just editorial, there are sales and marketing and rights, lots of interesting different roles available to you, and to apply for that summer internship. We wish you every success and we hope to see you with Hachette or within the industry soon. Take care.
Publishing, which I think is the best job in the world, is about finding great stories and great storytellers. And there are a number of ways that we find them. There are the more traditional avenues, through agents, through pitching sessions at festivals or through writing centres, or through a publishing company's own manuscript submission process. You can find Hachettes at hachette.com.au. But I hate the idea that publishers are thought of as gatekeepers. And so at Hachette, we want to expand beyond those traditional publishing networks and literary hubs. And so we've developed a number of prize partnerships that reflect our commitment to publishing diversely and inclusively. The Ritual Prize is run alongside the Emerging Writers Festival and is for unpublished writers of any age, which I love. The Black and White Writing Fellowships and Editorial Internships provide support for First Nations writers and editors in conjunction with the State Library of Queensland. The Hachette Australia Prize for Young Writers is open to all Australian secondary school age students. It's a developmental award and it's with Express Media. But good writers and good stories can come from anywhere, and you have to keep your eye out. Publishers are always looking at short story competitions, the winners of prizes, writers' festivals, podcasts. We're constantly reading magazines and newspapers and listening for the latest podcasts, or keeping in touch with social media, looking for writers and for book ideas, because you never know where you'll find the magic, and that is the beauty of publishing.
The question that I've been charged with answering is one that editors get asked a lot. Does an editor really just get to read books all day? Well, the short answer is no. While reading is certainly an important part of the role, there is a lot more to being an editor than just reading. An editor is like the project manager for a book. They work with the publisher, with the author, illustrators and designers. They brief freelance editors and proofreaders and work with typesetters and production to make sure every book is delivered on time, within budget and to the very best possible standard. Managing stakeholders and schedules is a big part of what an editor does day to day. Making sure that all of the elements that go into a book come together to create a brilliant finished product for the reader. Having said all of that, there is also a lot of reading, and I would say that a genuine love of reading is at the heart of the editorial role, and it's the most fun part too. The thrill of starting on a new manuscript, of being part of that small first group who get to read early drafts, never gets old, and it really is the most magical thing about being an editor.
I work in the rights team, and it's our job to try to get the book into as many different hands around the world or on screens as possible. We do that by sending out a lot of emails and having a lot of meetings with people, either virtually or in person. I'm down at Melbourne International Film Festival at the moment, where we're talking to a bunch of different producers about hopefully turning our books into book-to-screen adaptations, which is really exciting. We also go overseas to international book fairs, and it's just basically about talking to publishers overseas about maybe publishing our books. We also have an export program, so we get to send our books internationally via that. There's lots of different things that we can do to get our books in the hands of lots of different readers. I love the job because I get to talk to people about how fantastic our books are every day, and hopefully convey our passion as a company to people, and also convey how brilliant our authors and our titles are. It's great fun. It's really fun.
The first step for making a book is obviously getting a manuscript, and the publishers find those, and then they bring them to acquisition meetings, and we discuss the strengths of it. And my job in that is to discuss what the final product is going to be like. So it's what format it is, what it's going to look like, how it'll feel to a customer, what price it's going to be sold at, and how that works with all the work that needs to go into producing the final product. To be really good at production, you have to be able to conceptualize a product. You have to be able to understand what customers want and what looks good together. You need to understand money in pretty great detail and understand how you can direct resources to producing the best product possible. One part of the production job that never gets old is when you first get a finished book from the printer, and you open up that box and you can see what all your hard work and what all your colleagues' hard work has gone towards. And it's a really special moment. It's like a little bit of magic that comes in part of the publishing process, where it's finally a real thing.
So alongside the books created here in Australia by our local team, we also publish a massive list of international books. So these are titles that originate with our overseas sister companies like Hachette UK and US, and they account for roughly 80% of overall sales in Australia, so that is a really hefty chunk. It means we get to work with publishing royalty like Stephen King, John Grisham, Colson Whitehead, icons like Billy Connolly, Dolly Parton, Matthew McConaughey, and prize-winning literary queens like Maggie O'Farrell and Jennifer Egan. So with this brilliant pool of talent to draw from, we have to somehow get these books from all over the world into the hot little hands of Aussie book lovers. So this is where the exceptionally cool and multi-talented product team comes in. We are the eyes and ears of imported books here in Australia, so we manage the balance of supply and logistics, the curation and promotion of enormous title lists, and carefully tailor the end product for a pitch-perfect landing into Aussie bookshops. Basically, we book them, bring them, sell them, and love them from conception to publication and beyond.
The primary role of the sales team is to place the right books into the right retailers at the right time. The sales team is responsible for working across a publisher's entire list of titles, including children's, fiction and non-fiction, so a wide appreciation of books is key. The sales team is involved at every stage of the publishing process, providing feedback on acquisitions, print numbers, and supply chain logistics. This is all to ensure that a publisher is producing and supplying the books that they can sell. It is the salesperson's role to make their publisher's books stand out from the hundreds of other books releasing at the same time. We work with a wide variety of retailers, from department stores like Big W to independent and chain bookshops like Dimmicks, digital and online retailers like Booktopia. So it is as important to understand your customer as it is to know your books. You will work with sales reports and forecasting tools, so it's important to be numerate. But the most important skill for a salesperson is to be a good communicator. You'll have to pitch lots of different books to many different buyers and share your enthusiasm for all of them. You might only have 1 or 2 minutes to convince a buyer, so you have to make sure your pitch is concise and targeted to their business. If you love recommending books to your family and friends and feel really satisfied when you put the right book into the hands of someone who loves it, then a career in sales might be the one for you.
First off, the marketing team all read the book, and then we would come together as a team and we'll discuss what we loved about it, what we thought the key themes are, how they relate to our everyday life, what readers will respond to. Then we will go away and just really consider what will resonate most strongly with consumers in the market. So what kind of content would we like to create, or marketing content would we like to create, and share that across our channels to really keep building that excitement that we have as a team and can translate that to consumers in the world. And so that can sort of take the form of fun things like trailers, video content of the author discussing the book. It could be sharing like a sneak peek chapter sampler, and then we could also offer giveaways and things like that. And that really kind of drives our excitement, or translates our excitement to the marketplace. And that sort of helps also retailers sell the books once we reach publication date, and we can ensure that consumers know about this book on publication and they're running out to stores or buying it online.
One of the main roles of a publicist is to strategize how to get the best possible media outcomes for our authors across television, print, radio, podcast, and online outlets. So we work very closely with our authors to draw out the meatiest, juiciest talking points or media hooks that will help us craft a compelling pitch to give to producers and journalists. We aim for a mix of national and local coverage, and we're aiming to secure book reviews, author interviews and Q&As, gift guide inclusions, and opinion pieces and written contributor pieces. We tour our authors around the country, and we determine whether we'll be able to sell out a big national tour or if the author might be better suited to a big launch with their local bookshop in their home state. A publicist accompanies an author on tour, and it's our job to make sure that they are happy and comfortable and well briefed and on time for everything. Something I very much enjoy about my job, and I suspect the authors probably do too, is being out there on the road and meeting our readers and connecting them with their favourite authors and hearing the impact that our books and stories have had on people's lives.